There's something so special about us all gathering together such as this. Since the beginning of time, people of like-mindedness, they always found the tribal way of coming together, gathering together, and many times in a circle like we have here today. Because there is a power in numbers. There's a power in gathering together with our hearts open, inspiration, allow it to flow, where we generate this energy between us and amongst us, that it does spin out, and people and the land and the creatures, it moves outward, this power, this force of energy, this life force within us as we come together and be ever present here now. So what a blessing it is to be this way, and ignite our power to manifest into the world for a better world we all want to see. When I was in morning meditation just the other day, I put out a message to the universe, the spirit. Can you give me any guidance on keys to inner peace? Because I'm going to talk about it on Sunday. And then I just let it go. And a little while later, I had this mental image that came into me of a beautiful sun with so many rays just moving outward. And I said, wow, this is beautiful. But what does this have to do with keys to inner peace, please? And the message back was, you'll figure it out. So here I am at the service and keeping that in my mind. It brought me to remembering some words of our founder of Sunburst, Paulson, on the spiritual genesis of creation. And I'm going to just briefly touch this topic. But all around us, even in this manifested world, and beyond that, the unmanifest, in that beautiful presence of stillness was a sea of everlasting peace. Ever new joy, ever new bliss. And there was a movement, a vibration, a thought went out with divine imagination and creativity. And the movement began to swirl in the midst of this eternal sea of peace and joy. And as these movements went out, like the right and left hand of God, and it created this amazing burst of let there be light, like a sunburst. And all these rays moving outward of life force, energy, movement to begin this amazing dream of this creation of life that we're in right now. It's in movement, constant movement with thought. And in this thought went the print, the fingerprint of God with sacred geometry in everything, from the largest of galaxies, the billions of stars that we can't even count, all the way to everything here we see manifested in this beautiful solar system, planet Earth, being right here as human beings. We all have that fingerprint of God, that down to the smallest particle is that same cosmology that's everywhere. And as this movement went out from energy into form and into this amazing miracle of our bodies, where we were gifted in this dream of our Creator, gifted with the ability of senses to enjoy this creation, the senses of sight and smell and taste and hearing and feeling. We were imbued with love, that seed, that ray of God's love from that burst went out to each and every living creature. It's what's keeping our heart beating. It's amazing when you think about it. Who's taking care of all the things going on in our body but that divine intelligence? And as time went on, we became, instead of seeing our connectedness of being all a part, oneness of that source, we could develop and have developed separateness. We see ourselves separate, lands separate, thinking separate. And it's caused a lot of division and suffering in the world, far from peace of who our true nature is. Mark Twain once stated that comparison is the death of joy. To compare what we have looking at others, or looking at other countries, looking at other anything, that comparison is the death of joy. Theodore Roosevelt said that comparison is the destroyer of joy. To see the separateness, the judgments, forgetting that oneness from that one source. The other day, just yesterday it was, I woke up early and there was such a fog in the air, just a mist, a really thick fog. And it was right before the rising sun. And I just looked out and felt the peace, the stillness. It was such a stillness of peace present. Not one ripple in the atmosphere. And then you began to see just the peeking of the raising of the sun peeking through the mist. And then you began to hear a few birds in the distance just chirping and singing praise to the rising sun. It was just so magnificent to just experience that. And you say to peace, "Where have you been?" And peace said back, "I am always here." I am everywhere. But I'm not in the past. I'm not grasping the future. I am present here in this very moment, everlasting. And it's only the busyness and the rushness of our thoughts rushing through life that we miss this peace that is always here. And in missing this peace, and in our rushing, we also seeing our separateness of everybody and everything in life. You're not a part of nature. You're not a part of humanity. You got to hurry up and get your things done. And you're missing the whole beautiful beauty of this creation. This is where Paramahansa Yogananda stated, to be actively calm, but calmly active, can keep the motion and keep the work we do, but to always keep the presence within you of the calm, grounded peace of centeredness in this very present moment, just as we can feel it this very moment. It's here. It's never left us. We leave it because we have a choice in this world. We have a free will in this world and how to use our thoughts and our life force. So we may ask ourselves, how can we cultivate this in our daily practice of life, finding the inner key to peace, the inner keys to peace? Well, finding our connectedness for sure, remembering we're all really one within the sun. We all came from the same source of love, of peace and joy, made in that image and that likeness. And at times, the power of cultivating being present. Don't miss the miracles that are happening around us all the time. And to give your service. There's something very special about being kind. This is simple acts of kindness. Very simple. And when you're in the moment present, you'll see many places to offer it. For it's in that act of kindness, it's moving our self-centeredness or whatever, expanding it to look out and notice others. And in doing that, you leave an impression not only in them who you are giving to, but also yourself. We're both receiving something. And the good thing, it's contagious. Before you know it, the receiver's going to be the giver next. And it goes on because it is contagious. And it creates a beautiful peace. It helps remember, it helps awaken the peace of our true nature that's The peace that's the throne of our soul is peace. And it's coming more and more to the surface when we move back and allow it to work through our hearts, work through our hands, work through these minds. And to make good choices in life. There's so many places we can fall into listening to harmful, negative talk and gossip. And this is the destroyer of peace. And to know we have a choice to make right decisions with our life force, to help move that energy into a positive place within you to make a good choice. Because that too is contagious. And it moves you away from the center of peace. And another important thing is today in the age of social media and all this technology, it's super important to make sure we don't overdo it because that can exhaust us and cause stress, and it can take us away from our peace. I saw this quote from, he was a professor and writer, Isaac Asimov, and he said, the saddest aspect of life right now is that science gathers knowledge faster than society gathers wisdom. So as our technology advances and our sciences advances, they're all wonderful when we use them consciously and properly. But if we're using these powerful tools and not cultivating our wisdom, cultivating our intuitive guidance, they can be very harmful. So it's important also to take care of our body temple. This is why you nurture it, because it's the temple of our soul. It's the holds the cradle of peace within us, our true nature. That seed of the great spirit, God within us, is peace and joy and bliss with wisdom. So to take care of these bodies, just watch what we don't overindulge in the senses, to make time for rest. And the most important part of this all is to meditate, because meditation is the key where you truly unlock this peace that surpasses all understanding, even in the midst of all the activities going on in our life. We still have this place within us to come home to that is at peace, and that will guide us through the roughest storms. It's right there within us. And this is why going within, even if it's only 15 minutes a day, 5 minutes, morning and evening, give yourself those moments to cultivate this peace within you. And as we do this, everything outside in the world you perceive, it'll be with the heart and the mind of peace, even in through difficult situations. And it's important too in balancing our heart, brain with our rational mind, to find peace, to stay equanimous in the center of the storm. I have this quote from Albert Einstein that I really like. The intuitive mind is a sacred gift, and the rational mind is a faithful servant. We have created a society that honors the servant and has forgotten the gift. So it's truly important to tune in to meditation and allow the true inner child, the pure self of our nature, to come forth and guide our life. Because back to the dreamers of this entire creation, our divine parents, the dream of this creation was so that they could dance and enjoy the beauty of this creation through their children. So that they could use these senses and enjoy this creation with us, through us, as we are made in this image. And this is what we can awaken together as we walk this journey back to our true nature of who we are. And it's so wonderful to have it, to work together with others, just as we are here today, to cultivate this, because it will be the key not only to peace, but to true happiness and joy that lives on. It's not temporary. It's a joy within you that is lit and stays with you, even through hardships. So we're going to now move into a time that we can meditate together. Let us take this time to sit upright and just scan the body for any tension. Just become aware of being at home in your body with the thoughts of release and relax. Relax and calm. And just connect with your breath. Notice the breathing. And as the breath calms down, allow it to calm your heart and your thoughts. And let us place the gaze of our closed eyes at the point between our eyes, the single eye, to allow our body to be filled with light, the light from that inner sun, the source of the divine intelligence of spirit. Relax the gaze, but keep it steady, and just watch the breath as we move into our time of silent meditation on feeling the peace within and around us. there's one more key to finding inner peace. And it's a very important key. It's the key of gratitude. Gratitude. Being ever grateful for all that we have, the abundance that we have in the outer world and inside within us, the treasures within us, utmost gratitude. And gratitude for this amazing creation. It's not only what is visible to the eye, but there's also inner worlds upon worlds and dimensions of gratitude for this amazing love of our Creator's divine imagination. And we bring this gratitude to those in our lives that have truly helped awaken within us the love, the life and joy, helped guide us, helped encourage us. Utmost gratitude for all the beautiful souls in our lives. And this brings us also to this day and this weekend. There was an old ancient traditions, and it started I think in the Celtic tradition, called All Hallows Eve. Hallow is holy, the eve of the holy, thinking of all the holy ones that have moved on into different worlds, all souls that have moved on into other worlds in this amazing creation. The Spanish tradition is called Dia de los Muertos, Day of the Dead. And it's not a sad time. It's a time of gratitude and honor and celebration of all our loved ones in this day. So it's a very special day to celebrate, and we all celebrate in different ways as we see today. And with that, I have just one more story that I'd like to share on this occasion. And it's in my own life when a very important person in my life, my husband and my teacher, passed on. And it was like everyone that has experienced the loss of a loved one. You really, it can be shaking within. And in my prayer, I continue to ask the Great Spirit and to my husband, just let me know you're okay. Let me know you're okay. Any way you can let me know you're okay. And it was shortly after his passing that I was in my living room talking to a friend, and we were talking about how to do some work that needed to be done. And Norm's desk was right in front of me, probably about 10 feet away. And as he was talking, I just moved over, my eyes just locked into looking at his desk. And all of a sudden, it's like time stood still. There was no movement. And my consciousness and my mind saw Norm very clearly. We locked eyes. He was sitting at his desk about 10 feet away. And he was like, had his elbows like this, leaning on the desk, wearing a top that I was familiar with. And our eyes were just locked. And even though there was what you'd call being separate, there was no separateness. It was complete peace, love, joy, and stillness. It was an ecstatic experience. And then through a thought transference into my mind, not through talking, I heard the words, "Go on with your life and go on with your work." And there was no grief. It was just, it just is. There's really no way to explain it. And then what felt like forever, you pop back down to here. And the person who was talking wasn't even finished his sentence. I still could follow it. And all of a sudden, tears just coming down my face, and he trying to comfort me. I said, "No, just go, please. I got to process this." Because it probably in this time was no more than maybe 3 seconds or 4 seconds. I don't know. But I say this to hopefully help others in their time of grief to know that as we work here in this life of working to awaken our true nature of who we are, really do the practice of conscious living, working with kindness, caring, service, we take this with us. It goes with us, and there's no separation to our love. It's a continuum. It's a continuum. And, we process emotions on this plane very differently. So in utmost gratitude for all our loved ones, all those that have helped us, that are living today and that have moved on into inner worlds, this day of the Day of the Dead, of Halloween, All Hallow Eve, utmost gratitude to have these wonderful blessings in our life. You can repeat after me if you like. O Divine Spirit, our Father, our Holy Mother, we are your children, made in thy divine image. May we realize who we truly are and the power we have to create the peace that was meant to be. Let there be peace on this earth, and let it begin with me. Amen.
Through the columns of infinity, I saw him walking, long white robe and humble gaze. His hair was flowing, the Son of Suns walks on the earth, a light unto before the birth of Adam. Oh, my Lord, thy love is all around. Oh, my Lord, thy beauty doth abound. Everywhere I look, mine eyes to see. Everywhere I look, 'tis only thee. 'Tis only thee. 'Tis only thee, bright sun. 'Tis only thee. His virtue wholly changed my life, pouring down on me to taste that cup of righteousness, filling all my soul. He filled me with his holy breath, river to the sea. Never more shall I taste death in eternity. Oh, my Lord, thy love is all around. Oh, my Lord, thy beauty doth abound. Everywhere I look, mine eyes to see. Everywhere I look, 'tis only thee. 'Tis only thee. 'Tis only thee, bright sun. 'Tis only